Hello and welcome. Fantastic to Nuts and Bolts. Great to have you here. We've got a great session on for you today. And it's all about the 4 actions of a strong leader during this COVID-19 distractions that we're getting. You know, we're in the midst of change, right? We've changed from having to work from home, having to work virtually, having to work remotely. Now we're moving into are we starting to do a staged approach to get back to work? So there's lots and lots of change that we've been going through. So I want to share with you 4 actions that are really, really important for you as a leader to ensure that you keep doing. Now, the first one is have a real clear list of priorities. Clear list of priorities. So it's no good saying, team, I want you to be efficient and effective, and I want you to be innovative, and I want you to be secure and fast and agile. And, it's like, oh my God, it's too much. So think about what is your priority. So maybe you would say something like, right, team, the priority this week is about communication. So still going to carry on with our tasks, but we're really going to focus on our communication. And the way we're going to do that, what that looks like is our team meeting this week. Instead of just once a week, we're actually going to do it Tuesday and Friday. Our one-on-ones from now on are going to go from monthly to fortnightly. So that's what we're going to start. We're going to introduce team catch-ups at 9 a.m. for 30 minutes every morning, and that's just a water cooler catch-up. That's got nothing to do with work. It's just purely catching up and eyeballing each other via the WebEx. And that weekly report that we do, we're going to have that due by close of business on Friday because I've got to hand it in on Monday of the following week. So that's what we're going to focus on this week. So it's really clear, it's concise, it's not airy-fairy or, those sorts of things. So just make sure that you have a clear list of priorities and clearly stipulate what that looks like, especially when you're starting to do some return to work stuff, right? So what does that look like? What are you going to focus on this week? What is the big thing that you want people to be able to spend a bit of time on? So let's be really clear with our list of priorities. So that's our first one. The second one, so I want you to have a think about multiple pathways to solutions, right? So there's multiple pathways that we can take to find solutions. And that's all about being innovative because so many times we get a bit stuck with our own ideas. So it's really, really important for you as a leader is to tap into your team and ask for their insights on different things, whatever that may be. So what does that look like? So, for example, I know some businesses that, as soon as COVID-19 hit, they found, wow, we're going to have to, we're going to sack everybody, fire everyone, and, otherwise, we're going to lose our business. So hang on a minute. What are some multiple pathways that we can look at here? Yes, that's one pathway, one solution, but what about if we minimize people's hours? What about if we look at people just close to retirement, look at about early retirement for them? What about if we find other areas of the business that we can deploy people? There's multiple pathways that we can go down. And when we get stuck with the one solution, then it becomes really black or white. But in fact, there's lots of grey areas. So yes, be crystal clear on your priorities is number 1. But number 2 is when we're looking for solutions to return to work, let's look at multiple solutions. Let's look at multiple pathways that we can go down rather than just the one pathway, because everybody's in a different kind of situation now, right? So we have to think about what does that look like. And if you can't come up with multiple pathways, that's okay, because you've got a team of people that will have different perspectives than you. And maybe they'll be able to work with you to find some solutions that'll work for both business, you and your team. Right, the third one I want you to think about is really be honest and emphasize on the right things. So you've got people going through change, right? Some people handle change really, really well and are really resilient and they bounce. And some people really struggle with change and struggle with resilience. So if the situation that they're in is a bit volatile, it's a bit unpredictable, we don't know whether we're going to be here next week, we don't know if we're going to be back at work, we don't know if we're going to be working from home, that plays on people's minds. So I want you to think about the 10 by 10 by 10 rule, right? So you're going to have to say things 10 times in 10 different ways for people to take in 10% of that information. The 10 by 10 by 10 rule. So when people are volatile, they usually have limited capacity to take on new information. So you have to be really clear and honest with the information that you're giving. And you might have to do it in 10 different ways. For example, if you are creating a return to work plan, for example, you might share that in a team meeting. Then you might share that plan one-on-one. So what does it mean to the individual? Then you might place that up on a folder somewhere that people can go to and look at. Then you might email it out. Then you might break it up into phases and share the phases. So there's lots and lots of ways to be really honest with that one piece of communication. And remember the 10 by 10 by 10 rule. So you're gonna have to show this 10 times in 10 different ways for them to effectively retain probably about 10% of that information each time, if that, right? So just be aware. If you feel you're going blue in the face, if you're feeling that you've said this so many times, you've probably only just said it enough. So just think about that. Okay, and the fourth one is capture the stories, right? So capture the stories and share those stories. So for example, if Nancy and Chris from IT had to work till 5 a.m. in the morning and had 17 cups of coffees between them to get the VPN up and running so that everybody could log into the workplace, fantastic. Let's share that story. Hey, did everyone know Chris and Nancy did this and they had 17 coffees and share those stories, because this is how we overcome adversity, right? People going over and above. Let's celebrate them. Let's share them. Let's make sure that we're capturing those stories, because this is us going over and above and using this unusual situation to show how we can be agile and we can pivot in short time and we can, face these adversities full on. So just really, really important for you to capture those stories and share them around and making sure that we celebrate those. And I'm sure you've got lots and lots of stories. So why don't you capture them? Make sure you've got them together so that we can keep retelling those stories. So when times get tough, people go, yeah, we've been through tough times before and we've got through it because Nancy and Chris did this with the VPN and and people start talking about those sorts of things. So let's just go over those really, really quickly again. So number one, you're going to have a really clear list of priorities. You're not going to tell everyone they have to be effective and strong and trustworthy and highly communicative and You're just going to focus on one thing, okay, and be really, really clear with that priority. Number two, we're going to look for multiple pathways of solutions rather than just the one solution, because we need multiple pathways in this time of change, especially when everything's changing on a short time, right? Number three, the 10 by 10 by 10 rule. You have to say things 10 times in 10 different ways for people to retain 10% of that information. So if you feel like you're going blue in the face telling people the same thing, you're only just saying it enough, right? And number four is capture the stories and let's celebrate those successes. Let's see how we work through adversity and get through it. They're really, really going to be important to build people's resilience and know that they're going to get to the other side of this. So I hope that helped. If you've got any burning platforms, issues, concerns, any worries at all, really contact us here at ask@teamleadertoolkit.com. We'll throw a video just like this one together and send it your way, and hopefully we'll find you the multiple solutions that you're looking for. Okay, so until next time, we'll speak soon. Cheers. Bye for now.